For those of you not in the know, I actually worked for the Walt Disney Company for about 9 years, while trying to move up the ladder with some success. But that's not to say that I didn't enjoy my time there. In fact, I had a blast, and I made some friends there that I would actually grow to get along with better than some of the people I grew up with. Which leads us to today's choice for the game that we're going to look at. Today, it's going to be Mickey's Dangerous Chase. A game that I've never heard of until I started producing this video.
We're gonna use the Super Game Boy for today, so let's put the game in, turn it on, and let's get going. The game itself tells the beginning of the story through this opening cutscene. I've had this sped up for you, because if I didn't, it would be scrolling by very slowly. Also, it's just Mickey's chase now, huh? Well, I'm glad they took the danger out of it. Don't want to traumatize the kids. So your first stage is Mickey's hometown. We're gonna get ready to start this game up, but before we do that, we have to select our player? What?
The game is called Mickey's Dangerous Chase. So why are we throwing Minnie into the mix? I mean, like what? You're just gonna make her do all the hard stuff? I can imagine that conversation going well like...
Gosh, Minnie, I'm so sorry that I lost your present.
Now go get it!
Look, even right here, this is the back of the box, and as you can see, nowhere is Minnie listed as a playable character. Even the screenshots have Mickey on them. Ah, forget it, let me just pick Mickey. So the game begins, and this is more or less where the breakdown of these stages are going to be. Each stage is broken down into 3 levels. You have 2 platforming stages, and then what I'd like to call a chase scene for the 3rd level, before you move on to the next stage. Mickey attacks by picking up boxes and hurling them at the enemies, but isn't that a kind of weird attack? Why not just give him a punch or something? Why's he gotta pick up a box to throw him at the enemies? Got him! There are collectibles in this game, and they come in these stars. Once you collect 100 of them, you receive an extra life. But there is another way to 1-up in the levels, and that's by collecting the 4 crystal balls that are scattered throughout. When you get all 4 and you hit the end of the stage, you receive an extra life for your trouble. Speaking of the end of the stage, they're marked by Goofy here. Once you approach him, he tells you where Pete ran off to, and you're off to the next level. This second level is more or less the same as the first one, so for brevity's sake I'm just gonna skip over it. But the formula is the same. Make it to the end, and you're off to the next stage. Oh, borrow a boat, huh? More like conveniently misplaced to your advantage without permission. So let's start this chase sequence up. We're on a boat and... Aw, you have gotta be kidding me! Your health doesn't recover from level to level? It just carries over? What kind of nonsense is that? Well, now that my health has been replenished at the cost of a life, let's get this level over with. So here we go. This boat is jumping in the air, like boats do. Oh yeah! Invincibility, man! What? That's all I get is 8 seconds? Ah, well anyway, the end of the stage is also marked by Goofy. And that's more or less the gist of the game. You do your 2 levels, your chase scene, and then you're off to the next stage. Now check out this chase scene right here. Mickey's actually giving chase to Pete, who apparently just climbed up a mountain on a single balloon. Man, it just doesn't get any better than this, does it? Ooh, now we got 2 balloons. Yeah, that's right. Depending on how much health you have, determines how many balloons you get. And when you're down to your last bit of health, it could feel like Mickey's made of lead or something. Try not to lose your last balloon though, otherwise... Oh yeah, now we're flying, baby. Got 3 balloons and everything. And look, there's Goofy. Got all the crystals, now we get an extra player. Alright. Next stage is going to be the mountain. And these first two levels are going to be just about the same as the ones that came before it, just with about 50% more spikes. Oh man, we hit stage 4. I hate the industrial area with every freaking fiber of my being. The first level ain't so bad, it's just a bunch of spikes everywhere and some tricky platforming that you gotta master, but once you get it down, you can do it pretty much every time. It's when you get to the factory that the difficulty just goes all the way through the roof, man. Seriously, I hate this level. I hate it with an unhealthy passion. There's just difficulty coming all over the place. You got tricky jumping, spiky floors, and difficult maneuvers that you have to make in order to even get a good crack at this level. Look, I just bit the dust. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, come on! You gotta be kidding me! Oh, how cheap. You wait for me to get close to get the drop on me. And then I hit the spikes, too? Can't I catch a break?
Nope.
It would be so bad if I could stop dying at the same spot! Right, I'm down to my last life. It's all or nothing now. It's time to get serious. Okay, good, good. Oh, come on! Get up there! Get up there! No! Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. No!
Ah, come on! I'm so sick of dying at this level. I mean, it's a factory. I get it. It's supposed to be dangerous with lots of moving parts and stuff. But have you ever been to a factory that just has spikes everywhere? I mean, like, if you step on one, you impale your foot and then they have to call a doctor or something? What kind of nonsense is this? This is unbelievable, even for Toontown!
And then just to celebrate your failure, Pete stops running away to turn around and announce that the game is over. And then asks the player if they plan to keep chasing him. Well, of course I'm still gonna be giving chase. I'm not about to give up now. After a couple of minutes, possibly an hour or two of just grueling, trying to figure out these jumps and stuff, you'll make it through. I mean, it might be difficult, but it's not impossible. And believe me, when you finally get to Goofy at the end, he is a sight for sore eyes. This next chase scene, you're in the car. And the opening bit of it kind of reminds me of City Connection on NES. But anyway, you're in the car, doing platforming like cars are meant to do, dodging other cars and going over one of the most ridiculously built bridges I've ever seen in any video game. And as if that wasn't enough, now you're platforming over spikes and rising columns until you finally hit the end. But now we've hit the final stage of this game, the Business District. And you know what? Let's bring out Minnie for this one. Why not? So for this level, you're being harassed by tires, there's lots of spikes everywhere, and all kinds of crazy platforming that you have to do in order to get past it. Now, it's not nearly as bad as a factory level, but it is still pretty intense. There's even a part right here where if you want the goodies on top, you have no choice but to take a hit. Now this time for stage 5, the chase scene is actually the second level, and you're scaling a building. You're climbing the top of this thing, like jumping from platform to platform, hoping that the next platform has another platform for you to jump on. It's actually insane, because if you get on the wrong one, what ends up happening is you die and you have to start again from the bottom. Pair that with falling potted plants that give you very little time to react to, and this is a level that's gonna keep you on your toes, man. You have to be very good in order to make it all the way to the top here. So look right there, I hit the wrong platform. Gotta make it back, gotta make it back. Yeah! And now it's time for the final confrontation with Pete. So he's throwing things at you, trying to get you off his back. You're chasing him across building tops, which is a little too Spider-Man-esque for me. Also, I like how the background kind of resembles New York City. Kind of ties it all together, don't you think? So yeah, you're giving chase to Pete, watching his projectiles and jumping these very tricky jumps across these many rooftops until you finally corner him, and then the final battle really begins. Now Pete is a tough customer, but he does have a set pattern, so just watch his movements and strike when the opportunity presents itself. Once you got the pattern down, you could hand him his ass. Alright, with Pete defeated, we can actually take a look and see what was inside the present. And it turns out to be... a bird?
A bird. You mean Mickey went through all that? He went to the pet shop, bought a bird, stuffed it in a box, and then had it stolen from Pete. And we went through all that just for a bird. Well, I'll tell you what, I just feel like I got flipped the bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went through all that for a bird. And it's a bird that Figaro's probably gonna eat later in the afternoon, but sure, why not? Well, what's my final thought on Mickey's Dangerous Chase right here? It's very simple. It's a pretty standard platformer for the Game Boy, which in and of itself is pretty good. But if you ask me, probably a better game is going to be this one here, Mickey Mousecapade for the NES. Not to take away from its merits or anything, it did a few things right. It was a pretty good platformer, and you did get to pick between characters, even though it failed to mention that on the box, but that's not the point. It's competent. But for now, let's go ahead and put this one back on the shelf. It's a pretty decent game. If you could get it at a good price, I recommend giving it at least one go around.